and welcome to session 4 of our Easter experience with St Nick's Church here in Allestree and St Paul's Church in Cordon. My name is Becky Matthew and you might recognise me as the vicar of both those churches. Now before we start today's story and activity, we're going to take a moment to try and still ourselves. So I want you to make yourselves comfortable and maybe close your eyes if you feel comfortable, if you'd like to do that. And I just want you to listen. What can you hear? I wonder if you can hear the sound of your own breathing. Maybe put your hands on your tummy. Can you feel it going in and going out as you breathe? In a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes again. If you close them, ready to start our learning. Now, in this session, we're going to be thinking about when we are afraid. And we're learning about Jesus being in a garden called Gethsemane. Have you ever been afraid or a bit anxious? We all feel it sometimes, don't we? Maybe when we know something's going to happen that we're not looking forward to. This part of our Bible tells us that Jesus felt like that too. Let's watch our clip together.
Jesus and his disciples often went to the Mount of Olives just outside the city of Jerusalem. At the bottom of the Mount of Olives was the Garden of Gethsemane. Just before Jesus was arrested, he went to the garden with his disciples. Jesus told the men, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John and walked a little further. He said to them, "I am so sad. Stay here and watch." Jesus walked a short distance away from them, knelt down, and began to pray. He knew that he would die soon. "Father," he prayed, "if you are willing, take this hard thing away from me." Jesus continued, "But may your will be done and not mine." An angel from heaven appeared and cared for Jesus. Jesus' prayer was strong and powerful. As he prayed, his sweat fell like drops of blood to the ground. When Jesus finished his prayer, he went back to find Peter, James, and John sleeping. Jesus said, "Why are you sleeping? Couldn't you stay awake 1 hour? Get up and pray, that you will not give in to temptation." Jesus walked farther ahead and prayed the same thing. Then he went back to the disciples and found them sleeping again.
So even Jesus had been afraid, and it doesn't feel very nice, does it? Maybe our hearts beat faster and our breathing changes as we think about whatever it is that's making us fearful. Now here's a question. Are all thoughts true? Are they making truthful statements about what's happening in front of us? I'll let you into a secret. Thoughts may or may not be true. And we may really think a thought is true when it's not. For example, we may feel frightened in a darkened room, but it might just be our bedroom and there is nothing to fear in that place. We are not often in a dangerous situation, but our mind is really creative and it's thinking about a lot of different things that might happen, and we're programmed to focus on negative possibilities, which helps us survive. Another way to think of it is fear can sometimes be described as false evidence appearing real, fear. And we can do some practical things to help us when we feel afraid. We can focus on our breathing, maybe make it deeper. Another way is to talk about it with someone. We talk about our fears with somebody else, and lots of people go and see people who listen to them. We call them counsellors or therapists. They've had professional training. And as well as talking to other people, Christians might also themselves talk to God. And in fact, one name that we use for God is Wonderful Counselor. And we can talk to God through prayer, through how we pray. Now we've just learnt that when Jesus was afraid, that's exactly what he did. He talked to God and he prayed. And that's good for us and for our well-being to talk about our feelings. And as Christians, we believe prayer can and does transform and change situations. In a moment, your teacher is going to pause the video for your activity time, and then we'll have our closing thoughts. So hopefully you've all had a chance to talk or think about fear and anxiety. Maybe you can display your activities, your creations that you made in your classroom, just to remind you that you can talk to God. And it doesn't just have to be when we're afraid, you can talk to God anytime, anywhere. God always hears us and wants to help us. So take care and stay safe.